We welcome you inside our studios here on a Monday evening. It is Game Time, presented by Kia. Casey Stern, the Hall of Famer, Mr. Who Dat now.
Who dat?
Should I say. Game ball for Isaiah Thomas.
Can you believe that?
No, I can't believe it.
It was a great game, though. I mean, the Saints played great. Eagles played great. It was a great game.
Yeah, I love how you said Eagles play great until they call you next year. I mean, why does he get the Eagles game when they're in the NFC? Equal opportunist Rams, get on the horn. We got a lot to get into because you know this. When you are on a team and there are injuries, all of a sudden, everybody needs to kind of handle things differently. And Clint Capella, we've talked about this, you and I and everybody here often, never really gets the credit for, A, how well he plays, speaking of football, that the two-man game, almost like quarterback wide receiver with James Harden, and how important he is. I think the second most important on the team. Now out 4 to 6 weeks. Is this a bigger loss than even Chris Paul was when he went down?
For James Harden, yes, because, he and Capella are, arguably one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. And Capella is the perfect fit for Harden because he's a big man that runs. He's a big man that sets screens. He has great energy. He has just as good a stamina and motor as Harden does. So consequently, those two, they really do fit like hand in glove. And when you lose the Capella, now Harden is saying, okay, I got to take on more of the load. And Case, this is what he did tonight. I mean, his energy and stamina and shot-making ability has been off the charts this month.
I mean, how far up, as we watch him, he had 15 in the first quarter, how far up the toughest guy to guard ever one-on-one ranks is he up now for you?
Well, he's definitely one of them.
Right?
When you look at his ball handling ability, his ability to go to the line, make free throws, I mean, offensively, he is just about as complete as, anyone who's played the game because he can shoot the three, he's got the step back, he can make foul shots. But when you look at what he can do for your team, stamina and energy-wise, he brings that also.
Well, he also brings 17 consecutive games with north of 36. That's pretty good. But don't worry, he's not even close to finished. Lead 6 at the break, more from Harden. Step back, no chance. Deep three, good. Flotation devices, acceptable. Whoop. How about another step back? I mean, this is... Honestly, it looks like torturous for defense. 57 points, 9 boards.
Yeah, and we see all these great shots that he's making, the step backs, driving to the basket. But the thing that again, when we talked to P.J. Tucker the other night that impresses all of us, P.J. said he works on this every single day.
First guy in, last guy to leave,
first guy in the gym, last guy to leave. So when you see guys like him, Steph Curry, Durant making shots, hey, these are no accidents. They put in the work.
All right, I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot more work to do. Here's Harden after the win on playing without Capella. When you look at the Rockets, they clearly had deficiencies defensively after some of their losses, but so much talent. And now the names start to go one by one by one. As a star player, which you were and he is, when all of a sudden it's all on you, it's great because he seems like he can score 100 points.
Yeah.
But what is the pressure and the onus of, I got to keep my teammates in. I might need them at some point, right?
Yeah.
But I got to take over more than I used to.
Yeah, and you have to take over more than you used to. And by the way, your teammates expect you to. But your teammates also are human beings, too. And they're out there playing, and they want to touch the ball also. So it's a fine line between taking over and taking it all and making sure that you share. Because at the end of the game, you're going to need those teammates to make shots for you. And Tucker, again, what he said to us the other night was that they are prepared for this. And they're okay with James taking the wealth of the shots. But I think come playoff time, as we've seen before in the past, when teams start to take the ball out of Harden's hands, is he going to be able to distribute to his teammates, and will his teammates be ready to take on the load? Because the last couple of years, that's what has happened.
And that's why having Eric Gordon healthy is so important. He could go on a run for you. Having Capella, having Chris Paul, PJ Tucker, look, he had 7 threes, I think, the night we talked to him. Not exactly his type of thing. I love that you saw Austin Rivers, who has not played with Harden long. If you go back in that highlight rewind on your TVs, Harden's going 1-on-4, and Rivers is like this in the corner. He's like, nah, bro, he good. You're fine.
I think Rivers is an important pickup for them. I think he's a really important pickup because he, and people may not understand when I say this, but he, like Harden, is extremely explosive. And if he gets to play with the ball for 18 to 19 seconds on the shot clock, like Harden does, he can be just as explosive in some games as Harden is now.
If the Rockets get healthy, is that enough for them? Or you still think those defensive deficiencies, they need to rework and tweak things a little bit, right?
I don't care what league you play in, baseball, football, basketball, little league, soccer, whatever. At the end of the day, it comes down to, can you stop somebody from scoring? Not can you score on somebody. So defense wins championships.
Yeah, no,
offense looks pretty.
Hey.
But at the end of the day, these guys got to stop people.
When I was in Little League playing for Black Tie Limo when I was 8, I was thinking, what Zeke said, it's defense that wins championships.
Black Tie Limo.
Yeah.
Was y'all?
I hope they're watching.
Was y'all in black tie?
Yes. No, black and white. We had the whole thing.
To the game in the limo.
Yes.
So Little League.
Mom drove me.
Little League was stepping out of the limo.
Coming up on the other side.
Y'all was big ballers.
I also played for Yellow Stationery. Creative. Tony Parker's returned. Emotional, but could he get a W?
Stepping out of the limo with some lemonade.
That's right.
Pink lemonade.
We talk about the punch that the Nets gave to the Celtics. And you look at Donovan Mitchell and you look at the Eastern Conference player in Kawhi Leonard. Unbelievable numbers. But what I love is you see one guy on the right who seems to kind of fit everywhere, right? And the guy on the left we're seeing find where he fits best. He knows he could take dudes down one-on-one, but I see a guy really trying to find a fit because we know, look, the IQ and the skills of the makeup are there for Mitchell.
Yeah, well, and this is his second year.
Yes.
So, I remember my second year, all that stuff that I was doing my first year, when people hadn't seen me that much, everything worked.
Dude, they still couldn't stop that. Come on.
No, but I came back my second year, and the first month of the season, I went to do my thing, and I remember Mo Cheeks like, nah, I ain't going for that move. So I think what Mitchell has gone through this second time around, what he's going through is he's having to develop that third and fourth go-to move. We all have our first and second move, which is like our go-tos. But then the league and the coaches are so good, they take your first option and they take your second option away. So then you have to develop a third and a fourth. And where he's at right now, he's developed his third and fourth. And once he gets really good at those, then he'll be able to come back and really do his thing at 1 and 2.
The other thing, Zeke, is, and I'm curious how difficult this is, and if you notice this, is watching Jazz games, his knowledge of the rest of the floor is something you could tell he's working on and improving. Because he's never had an issue making moves and getting to the rack. But I think it was kind of finding himself, how can I make others better, right? And not just with an assist, but in fighting off screens and making sure to outlet extra plays. You're seeing more. The hustle was never an issue, but how long does it take for you to really be comfortable at the NBA speed and level, understanding what's going on around you?
And this is where great coaching comes in. When you look at Quinn Snyder and the relationship that he has with Mitchell and the trust factor that they have, that they've built, right? He can coach him, and he can not only coach him, but he can critique him, he can criticize him, and he can push him. And Mitchell will take that and learn from it, as opposed to thinking that this guy's trying to, diss me or whatever it is. I think Snyder has done a great job in coaching him. The fact that he's now aware of his second, third, fourth player options as opposed to his first, second, third, fourth individual options. So when he comes off, his first read is, let me help somebody, right? Not let me get mine. His first year, he come off and let me get mine. Now he's coming off and he's saying, let me help you. Let me help you. Now I'll come back and get mine. And that makes a team so much more difficult to guard.
As Zeke, as a coach and as a point guard, which is really coach on the floor, You got to know the talent around you. They have players who can do specific things extremely well, but that team basketball's got to be there more for them, right? Than if you're sitting there and you're Westbrook and Paul George. I'm not saying they don't play it and they play great team defense, but one guy can go take over a game. James Harden can go do it for the Rockets. Even though Mitchell can, how much more important does team basketball become specifically with the kind of roster they have?
Well, the battle for the individual player now is with himself and the stat sheet. So when I say with yourself, right? Yourself, you're judged by how I respond and how I play with you as a teammate. But I'm measured by the stat.
All right, Dwayne Casey hot about something. Probably the loss, among other things.
Yeah, Blake had a few choice words for the official also.
Yes. But the game went to the Jazz, 194. A couple of things to point out. Joe Ingles always seems, even if he has a big night, to make the big shot. And Kyle Korver has been monstrous. You heard the stat there. 2 threes made or more in his time with the Jazz at 12-1. And tonight, 19 off the bench.
He comes in and he does what he was brought there to do. Not only give them, great bench point production, but also to give them confidence and to settle that young team down when they get, kind of erratic. He comes in with that championship pedigree, with that old man sage, wisdom that he can give to the young players and say, hey, we're going to be all right. And he makes a shot and he does the right thing at the right time.
Old man Sage, is that what you're bringing me on this side?
Yeah, old man Sage.
All right, from old man Sage to big man Boban, who always seems to have some kind of hilarity.
Love his, you gotta love his attitude. You gotta
There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Get out of the way.
He's the best. He's the best.
You might want to break. Oh, okay. That's a character right
the
there.
Series of Boban.
Like being John Malkovich, being Boban.
Being Boban.
So here's the scenario. Game on the line, you need a 3 to win. Who takes the shot? In this open court short, 3 expert sharpshooters, Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, Dennis 3D Scott, and Kenny the Jet Smith, discuss who they would give the rock to in the clutch.
Smith again. What a stroke for Kenny Smith.
Throws it across. Miller for 3. Oh, he backed it in. He backed it in.
Hey everybody, Matt here with 3 of the most accomplished shooters in NBA history. 3D, Dennis Scott, Kenny Smith, the Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, and so of course...
This is a shooting show.
No, of course.
I was trying to figure out...
I want to talk about shooting. One active player to take a game-winning shot. If you could choose, who is that guy?
Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant, or LeBron James.
Curry saves it. 3. Steph Curry goes to the corner to shoot a 3 and hits to tie it up. Shot clock is on. James pull up for a 3. Rainbow!
Any more?
To take a 3 to win a game.
I take all 3 of those. Even LeBron James, in terms of his ability to get it off, he'll get it off comfortably. Because of his size, strength, and ball handling ability. So he would get it off comfortably. He doesn't shoot with the same accuracy as those other 2 guys, but he gets a better comfort level at times than those 2 guys.
For me, active, if we're just trying to get a shot clock's going down, it's Kyrie Irving. His ball handling ability to be able to get to any spot on the floor and get his shot off, to your point, he's going to get his shot off. And he's one of the few point guards, well, there's a lot of point guards in the league, and can shoot the 3.
Definitely guys that I probably would have picked, but if I'm going with someone with ice water in their veins, need a shot, I'm going with Dame Lillard. A guy that can create his own shot, or you can put him in a high pick and roll, shoots with depth, can shoot deep, and if you foul him, he's going to make foul shots.
Does the answer change for any of you if I say it's a catch and shoot 3 to win a game?
Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Catch and shoot, I would add Klay to a catch and shoot. Like, it swung back out to him. I would add Klay to that for sure.
It's funny, we were talking, James Harden.
Ooh, yes, to get a bucket, yes.
He could do.
Oh, my goodness, yeah, to get a bucket, yeah.
I mean, we're
Yeah,
not
Catch the dribble, off the dribble.
Off the dribble, he's
Off the
great,
dribble, no
but
question about it.
He gets to walk and shoot it. So he gets he gets to do the running man.
I'll make it harder. Let's go back in history. Any player who's ever played to win a game with a 3.
Oh, we're sitting right here.
Oh,
Who are you
yeah.
picking?
No, there's
He's
a
sitting
lot
right
of
here.
guys.
No, I'm not. You could go last if you're not going to talk about yourself.
I'm gonna go with Larry Legend.
No.
To make a
Three.
3. He said to make a 3, right?
To make a 3.
To make a 3 at the end of the game.
Celtics have got 3 seconds. 2. Bird, a runner. It's good.
I'm going with Larry Legend.
I'm going with the guy sitting here only because the moment for Larry is always the moment. For Reggie, he creates more moments, meaning he's looking for an opportunity. I think at times you hope we get down 3. So there's a difference. But Larry's like, no, I'm not even going to let you get up. I'm going to beat you. He's waiting for that moment. And so for me, watching Reggie over the years, I would have to say Reggie would be the guy I would be. Like,
Good
let's
looking,
get it.
Kenny.
No,
Yeah.
but and take it a step further, with Larry, as much as we, love his shooting, he's not going to get open in that situation where you, and I'm going to throw Ray Allen into the mix,
yeah.
both of you guys are going to get open because you're probably the best running without the basketball, running off screens and getting open.
Now,
Now,
I'm going to put Larry second, though. I wasn't like,
Kenny, Larry's third. Ray Allen's above him. Well, come on now. Those
But
Ray
you know
Allen
what?
and Reggie Miller, we need a 3. Larry's not getting open. Him and Ray are getting open to get that 3 off.
Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
There's a guy that I would want to be in this mix because he's the leading three-point shooter in the history of playoffs over certain attempts. You know who that guy is, right?
Kenny the Jets man.
You know.
I was waiting for that.
You're looking at
That leads to my next question. You may have already answered it, but if in a theoretical world where I could play and I had to choose one of the 3 of you to win a game with a 3, where am I going?
We're all going to pick ourselves. That's how confident we. I mean, in all of our careers that we've all hit game winners, we've all hit buzzer beaters, so we know we can do it. So if you're asking openly, I want to, as much as I love both these guys, I want to take that shot first.
I would honestly say that these guys were better three-point shooters in this regard. That was such a big part of their diet. And for me, it became a part of my diet later on. But I had to learn to be that. It is, like Reggie Miller, we played at UCLA in Pauley Pavilion and in North Carolina. We were like, guard him from here.
Right.
That didn't come into my life until about my 4th year in the NBA. It was always part of Dennis Scott's repertoire, a steady part of that diet, the long ball shot. I was catching up with you all the time.
Right.
Now, I just still think I can shoot the ball. But I just know that you guys it was a better diet.
We all have different strengths at different times. Sure. But at the end of a game, to a man, we're all going to say, put the ball in our hands.
Yeah.
Kenny wants those shots.
Yeah, one of the
He
biggest
wants
moments.
those shots.
One of the
I always
biggest
wanted those
moments.
shots.
Yeah.
We were actually in the biggest moments in Rocket and Orlando basketball history. Hit a three-pointer to tie the game to send it to overtime in the NBA Finals.
He's been on fire and hits. He's tied the game.
But before that, this dude,
In the regulation,
he comes
right.
back and hits another one.
Back to Scott. 3 and he's tied
Back to back.
Yep.
It was him and I.
You haven't made my job any easier.
Well, here, how about this? Who are you going to pick? If your life depended on it, and your family's life depended on it, and they needed a 3 to get them out. Come on, man.
I will answer the question. I've got bad news for you and my family.
Well-
I turned it over before I ever got it. You lost the game.
I will tell you this: if
That's why I'm sitting here and not there.
you gave it to any of us, your family lives.